On the 5th of May,
shoots fresh, reaching for
when the soil gives more than it takes,
all of this upheaval surrounding.
her favorite cloud died.
Not only that, the little doggy.
Turned to wonder.
You can't imagine colors lost, but they do. They die, and
They can't wake up. The memory
she had shaped it after.
fell asleep under
The roving rush, the melt,
but the singular activity frees a pathway to inner
liquids. These crystals bite at the
last frost's hush,
and only until it thawed did
the world thaw too.
greenly the dell holds the laurels and brushes aside before
You see her. Thus did
she discover the dripping
tangled mass. For
the life of you. You burn away to
turn, but it was too perfect, or just
as you planned it. She took the
next 3 days she
began collecting tiny papers.
from her parents' bath.
She began crushing the bits of stale crumb to lie down
In my bed, blasting the
sand cuttings from the new
gutter underneath her.
childhood window. She sighed, and
No
no
one wants to stop the dance. I
witnessed her struggling to provoke
tears. Only after
the next rain did she find her
boots, full of cherry
pits and warm ends I left for her in silent gesture to heal.
Sometimes I see
Myself reading the dregs,
a slow procession of
sips in pecking fashion,
left, then right, then forward, then again.
and my beak is oranging, cooing
Folk signals in some
odd harrowing drawl she
hadn't had the pleasure
to drink before. I am chirping after her vanishing girlhood.
Yes. Pretend name she had
Never spoken, but knew
was her great-great-grandfather,
sprang forth as mother.
knitting up the hole. We see for miles, and
Of course we too recognize the
mother. Her hair
even silvered, but no lining, no.
Death grip on this
Household saw the spring stolen like an algae bloom taking claim when
green grows up, is
just an age taking root.
eating out the brown.
We will come to miss the well,
But the wait is okay, for everyone, including us,
who are left after the sweat bed.
like a journey taught
To rebel, the every way in
which we let light
enter our life is ruffled. The fur is matted, the nests are gathering,
a stained glass spectrum,
which she envisioned
augurs beheld broken
fractals, points of warmth draining,
fast. Our laughter comes in spurts. Come in,
and let us soup you. Let us rub your
bones, all atavistic,
and ruin seeking, all marrow
recongealing in small
trays on the altar that we kindle reluctantly for to fix, for
to warm and fill up.
and compound and milk.
A band named Patience
Dominates our circlings,
all sets better than the last. Sounds so
unsure that we knew what
but stepped then and there,
into a crevice so slight it
wavered in our imagination.
we will run on and fragment and wear out the frame of
This
this
analogy. You never
quivered in resistance
She could see it all,
when I sailed across the yard.
where boxes stacked low to climb until my
Rusted tail licked up the cool.
in the water. What
It had begun as a pillowy canine
tooth shield transformed into
to a world we both could call sanctuary. We both wept
by our guardians.
We subsided into reflected wind.
Bent towards the ether.
We lusted for endings, but
Will there be time? Of course, darling.
there will be times. Just not now.
The moan of a dead
Birthing was the breath on
on a page of the
story unwritten as before. We were waiting unknowingly up
to the tower of
the calm, a proud that
proved negative. She
lifted up an ultimatum
and we followed behind with hands meant
to catch it, but instead we
caught something,
flushed out a response and
hurried whispers. All
is leaving now, darling. The sheets will wet your sorrow.
oh, you will see. Full of
Pure mercy, begging for
the next morning, any
one of us could make out
the pathway to the quickest hearth. The
the fondest ashen call, unrequited in
morning, anything worth
recovering from, gaining
insight for another day.
or another time. We know callings upon. We know doctors.
We know where we start this
Resolution from. This
song, a dirge of eulogy
that unfurls in restless
sighs as soft as curls on a lamb's underside.
the avian calls of mine.
She has memorized
She has memorialized burials
the bugs. She has
taken to headstoning. I wonder if she thinks of me that way, or
thinks of it as
healthy, constructive
growth for her unborn,
deaths to be lined up in yards,
reaching for stars still swirling in the
coil of the universe. They are
children to eat at.
when dinner's gone and the
Magnets stop. We wait,
for our summon. We wait as a watcher, a canary.
and can't you tell?
Sing songs escape
A word goodbye.
without all that still
So much good, so much lightness and thunder.
that sound can't illuminate.
Nowadays, she's more
Humble than ever in wait.
for the future. We
Hope carries a bather. Then we'll wash.
after the beginning,
before underlying chorus. Starting over, Matt.